All right, it's 9 o'clock. We'll call the Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025 Board of Adjustments meeting to order. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from our May 27th, 2025 meeting. Did we meet in May? We must have.
Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. I believe there's a little mic button here that you have to turn on to speak. All right. Item 2 on the agenda, new business. We have a variance request at 1122 7th Avenue South. And Kim will brief us on this.
Property is zoned SR3, and the development standards mandate that the maximum accessory structure height is 15 feet and that the accessory structure floor area cannot exceed the primary structure. The applicant is proposing to build a 36 by 30 detached accessory structure, and they're asking to get a variance to build to a height of 18 feet 9 inches and allow for an extra third stall on the garage. As you know, the variances require all 5 criteria to be met to be granted. Upon staff review, we are noting that criteria A and C are not met. That criteria A states that the variance arises from conditions that are unique to the subject property, that are not ordinarily found in the same zoning district, and are not a result of the owner's intentional action. And item C is the strict application of the standards will constitute an unnecessarily physical hardship, not an economic hardship, because the property cannot be used for an otherwise allowed use. Staff contend that there are design options that would allow for a garage to meet the design standards, and therefore recommending denial of the 2 variances that are requested based on the review criteria A and C not being met. The applicant is here, and staff has not received any comments from the neighborhood notices. That's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Kim. At this time, if the applicant would like to address the board, they sure can.
Green button. So what I'm trying to do on the garage is just build something bigger that we can utilize better. The floor space now that we have just doesn't utilize how to get a car in there, and then we can only get 1 car in there right now. We have no storage on the upper rafters of the garage. There is no rafters. That garage is being held together.
Please enter the conference PIN number.
That garage is being held together with cables. So there's no, when you look up, it's just vaulted right to the peak of the roof. So there's just 2 cables that run north and south, east and west. So there is no rafters on it. And to put rafters on there, the whole front of the garage would have to be taken down and rebuilt completely because of the 3 height levels. And it just, at that point, it just seems bigger or better just to start over from scratch. It's really out of whack. The whole back wall is curved, nothing straight. But by going bigger, we can get 3 cars in there, or have a workspace in there. The height variance is mainly just to get a nice open storage area. We can put a staircase in that instead of a pull-down ladder, so you can carry things up and down seasonally and just make life easier. I mean, we're only getting older, and it doesn't want to, I don't need to be crawling up a ladder carrying a tote, you know, if I can avoid it. So by having that larger area upstairs, it's a place where we can store stuff. We can alleviate some of the things out of the attic storage that we have now that's kind of at capacity for us, but that's about it. So,
Is there any questions for the applicant?
I have questions for the city.
Good.
Kim, I'm curious if the progress made on the new land development code criterion parameters would allow something like this.
The progress of that study is not to a point where we really have clear indication of what those development standards will be. And so it's just kind of a waiting game of knowing that we have potential changes in the future, but no guidance at this time.
Okay. And then I didn't see a site plan. I'm assuming that the setbacks are all met with the proposed plan?
Correct, for a detached accessory structure.
Yep.
I had a question for the applicant. Do you know, or maybe the city, do you know what the dimensions of the existing garage are?
So the current garage right now is 22 6 inches by 28 10 inches. So it's increasing by about 7 feet in either direction. Take a few inches.
Thank you.
Currently, right now, our garage, you pull a vehicle in it now, you can't shut the doors and walk around it. You have to open the door every time, back the vehicle out to do anything in the garage and or unload the car. And just with some of the dynamics in the neighborhood, here and there, it's just kind of nice to have the door shut. And I would like to heat the garage, so come wintertime, I don't want to keep it open while we're unloading vehicles or groceries or what have you. You know, so it'd just be kind of a security thing for us a little bit to be able to just pull the car in, shut the door, do what we need to do, or be in there without any concerns of passerbys, things like that, so.
The city's response states that there are options available to build a new garage that would meet the city's requirements. Is that a new 3-stall garage?
If it would be attached, the standard is different for the area, and so they could attach this garage as part of the primary structure, which would allow for a larger garage. Granted, then the site design would function differently. Or else it would need to, you know, it's mandated by the footprint of the house. And so if the footprint of the house would expand, that would also allow for additional accessory structure floor area.
You said that the footprint as designed is actually over the allowable. How far over are we on the allowable?
So from our records, the footprint of the house is 704 square feet, and they're proposing 1,080 square feet.
The rule is that it be what difference? Because the garage is not to exceed the size of the footprint of the house, is that correct?
Correct.
And that's the statement.
Right, so if his house had a larger footprint, you would be allowed more accessory structure.
As previously stated, I don't see a site plan, but would there be a way to do a breezeway that connects the two and thus make it a single building effectively?
I don't know if you can actually squeeze, with the footprint of the house as it is, I don't know if you can get 3 cars with the geography, you know, the geometries, for that to work, but unless it's attached to the house.
Does a breezeway qualify as attached? So like a covered walk structure?
I'll let Mel, with inspections answer.
The breezeway would count as attached, but it would change the foundation requirements, and so it would have to be a full foundation for the breezeway and the garage.
I see.
And what is the reason, I guess, that the garage cannot be larger than the main structure, but it could be if it were attached to it, which would then in fact take up more site space? Like, I'm just curious what the reasoning behind those rules are.
From what I would understand, it's, you know, like, it's a residential, single-family residential zoning district, and so the house is supposed to be the primary structure, you know, so the idea that the house is the, you know, principal structure of a yard. You don't want your neighbor to build this huge shop and have just a little house where the proportions of how that site and location functions. So that's the basis of the nuance. And, you know, as Deb mentioned with the Land Development Code, we know that our standards and community guidance has evolved since the 1998 Land Development Code, which these regulations are guided from. And so right now, we're just in that messy middle of understanding we have some outdated codes, but yet at the same time, we don't have that future guidance to know what is a single-family residential neighborhood. What are the things that we want to keep and maintain?
That's the reason why it gives me some pause to deny it out of hand, just because within a year, give or take, we may have a different attitude on the same application. So I don't know that like I said, I want to turn it down out of hand just because it doesn't meet criteria, if in short order it will meet criteria.
I have a question again for the applicant. Would you consider constructing a breezeway over your sidewalk that connects the house and the garage and put in a full footing foundation system under the garage?
Yeah, I would consider it. Yeah, I'm not too sure I would want to do that, just because of the added cost.
Right.
Something like that. And then, you know, I totally understand I'm shrinking down my usable green space in my backyard, but adding that on top of it, I think it would just be overbearing to the whole thing. I totally understand her process of it, thinking it that way and keeping it attached, because it would make it look like the principal structure is still the house. You wouldn't see the garage. But if I move the garage to the house, all I'm going to have is just a concrete driveway that's long and a pain in the butt, and then no backyard, because it'll be in the alley at
Right?
that point.
It looks like you're planning to have a sidewalk that connects the house and the garage.
Yeah, there is currently a sidewalk now, so the only thing that would change with that sidewalk that I have there now it would come from the house, and it would just veer a little bit closer to the property line, or along the property line, alongside the garage, and then out to the alley, just like it currently does.
The other issue is that it exceeds the height requirement. I'm curious, do the roof slopes that are illustrated on the elevation drawings, do they match the primary structure's roof slopes,
So
the angles?
the roof pitch of the house currently right now is a 12-12, so it's actually steeper, which would make it taller. I went down to a 10-12 to try to find that happy medium, but still not look different as you're driving by. I mean, there's other garages in the neighborhood that are built up this way, the same size, bigger, this, that, and the other thing. But it's, I mean, unless you're really looking for it, you can see the little bit of a difference in the height. But I think going from a 12-12 down to a 10-12, I'm losing almost a foot overall, or a foot and a half of height, I think, on the overall peak. Or the median height is what you guys are looking at, so.
I do appreciate the attempt to try to match those two things.
That's pretty much the goal, yeah. My only concern is how the garage is gonna look nicer than the house if I don't change the house setting. But
I just want to acknowledge that this would be a definite improvement to the block.
yeah, 100%.
And it's very encouraging to see investment in these older, smaller homes.
Right. That was my thought of it.
Are there any other questions, or are we ready to act?
Make a motion to accept the findings of the staff and deny the crest variance to allow new detached accessory structure garage to exceed 2 development standards, specifically maximum height and maximum area for accessory use, on the basis that the review criteria of section 200914-E11 A and C have not been met.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
So to clarify then, This is the motion to deny it. So
Correct.
to vote for it would be to deny the motion.
Correct. All right, please call the roll.
Wendell Dopp,
No.
Barine,
No?
Polchinski,
No.
Orth,
Yes.
Love.
No. All right, that motion failed. Is there another motion?
I make a motion to accept the requested variance to allow a new detached accessory structure garage to exceed two development standards, specifically maximum height and maximum area for accessory uses on the basis, let's just scratch on the basis.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, please call the roll.
Barine,
Yes?
Polchinski,
Yes.
Orth,
No.
Wendell Dopp,
Yes.
Love.
Yes. All right, your variance is approved. Thank you. Moving on to item 3 on the agenda, which is election of officers. So we'll need a motion and a second to elect the chair and vice chair.
I make a motion to elect Michael Love as the chair.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. We need a motion to elect the vice chair.
Make a motion to elect the vice chair as Deb Wendell Dobb.
I second.
All right, motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All right, we have a chair and a vice chair. Nothing has changed. I believe that's it, unless Kim has anything else for us? No? Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, we're adjourned. Thank you.